to Miami, Florida, where I attended high school. I moved the day before high school started, which was a huge culture shock. It doesn't seem like it is, but it was a huge culture shock, which Callie probably knows because nobody really speaks English that much. And I had a really strong accent, which I got rid of. I did my undergrad at the University of Florida. I majored in food and resource economics and with a specialization in economic policy. I came to Ross, and I'm a current 5th semester. And I've been described by my friends and family as a little sassy, probably a lot sassy, let's be real. Pretty confident, and when I'm in the gym, it's beast mode, which I think my nickname I heard was Gym Girl when people didn't know what my real name was. So, but who am I really? I'm a person who was told no a lot. The picture up there is my sister. She's a small animal veterinarian. She graduated from UF. She just bought her practice at the end of last year, and she's super successful. And really, she was a huge influence for why I wanted to come to Ross. And when I was in college, I'm gonna have to get this out. I'm sorry. It was like it's a big part of my life, but when I was in college, I wasn't doing well academically. And I failed chemistry 3 times, which kind of crushed my dreams because I have a sister who, she's kind of like the brain of our whole family, and I was successful in a lot of things, but when it came to academia, I wasn't. So the school I was at the time was a community college, and their requirement was that if you failed a course that many times, you had to go see an academic counselor, which I did. And she took a lot of time with me, which was great. I know a lot of people don't have a good experience with academic counselors. And she sent me to go get tested and by like an academic psychiatrist. And I was later diagnosed with 3 different learning disabilities as an adult, which was quite shocking to me. But the good thing about it is that I was able to work with them and retrain how I needed to learn in order to kind of fit in the academic system that we have in order to come, to grad school or vet school. And the bad news was that it did not make me competitive even for an undergraduate university, like a top, UF. I mean, it's subject to opinion, but I think it's a top university. It did not make me academically competitive. So I tried anyway, and I was like, I'm just gonna see what happens. And I went to campus, I was in the parking lot, I had the paper with the envelope, and I'm like, ugh, I opened it up, and I was denied. And I just cried about it because I didn't know what other options I had. I mean, I don't have a backup plan. This was my only plan, was to go to vet school, and I knew that to get in, I really needed to go to a good university. So I called my dad, and that's my dad right there. And I was like crying, and he's like, first of all, let's stop crying. Like, that's his personality, just like, stop crying. I don't know what your problem is. He told me, you need to get it together. And he's like, go knock right now, go knock on every single door in that university until you find someone that will help you. So I'm sitting on the phone, and I go, okay, but really, like, what's your advice? He's like, go knock on doors. I had no other options, and I'm like, fine, screw it, like, I'll do it. So what did I do? I went and knocked on a bunch of doors. Nobody answered. It was a bunch of random professors until I found this like big glass office. And then I couldn't really walk away because she kind of heard me coming down. She's like, can I help you? It's a receptionist. And I'm like, I really just need to talk to somebody, and I don't really know about what. It ended up being the dean of animal science at UF. The colleges are kind of separated into their own little colleges, and that's who I happened to walk into. No clue. When you kind of have a shoddy academic record, I think it kind of brings you a lot of like shame. You feel a little shameful about it. So I didn't know how he was going to approach me. Most people, when they see that, they're like, look, you don't have a chance. This gentleman took the time. He didn't even care about it. It wasn't a big deal because it didn't define how successful I was. He knew that. He knew it wasn't going to define how successful I was going to be as a veterinarian or whatever I wanted to do. And he said, look, you got good grades in finance, you got good grades in physics and economics. And he said, why don't you apply for the food and resource economics degree? around it, but I still got in. So I applied, I got in, and like that was a huge success. And from that point on, I never ever have again taken no as an answer. To me, no means that's your opinion. Like I really feel that way. If somebody tells you no, it is their opinion, because there is always a way. If you are passionate about it, there is always a way around a no. And I also made a decision at that point that this was the person I was going to be. That was like a defining moment that this was who I was going to be. So when it came to applying to vet, I did well, by the way, I did awesome. But when it came time to apply to vet school, obviously Gen Chem and other chemistry classes, which don't love me, are a huge part of us getting in here. So I went to go see an academic counselor again, and he told me that I had absolutely no chance of getting in. And I was shocked because I'm surprised that somebody in that position would be brazen enough to tell me, like point blank, you're not gonna get into school, you are not competitive to go. And so I think I said something very poetic when I walked out the door, like, you know, the water trickles down the mountains. And, I mean, it was like a long-winded thing, and it's very, you know, it may take a long time to get down there, but it's pure and clean by the time it gets to the bottom, and the guy's just like, bye. But the truth be told, I didn't need a plan B. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I believed in myself, and the reason why Ross was my first choice in school was because I feel like they represented, their image represented what I felt I was. I mean, they don't look only at your academic record, they really look for, they're very innovative in the way that they're looking for students that have other attributes and qualities that, in my opinion, make good doctors. It's not all about your GPA, it's not about killing yourself to have A's and everything. So with that in mind, when I walked into my interview at Ross, I knew I was gonna get in. The reason I knew, I guess I shouldn't have, but I knew I was gonna get in because I knew I believed in my abilities and what I was gonna do once I got in, and I knew that in that conversation with them, they were gonna pick up on that instantly and be like, yeah, I believe in her too. So my point to that is that another defining moment is that if you can, that whole fake it till you make it is the truth. If you can believe in yourself enough, you will convince other people of your abilities, whether you have anything to back them or not. If you believe in yourself, it's just, they're gonna read it right away. So before I even knew it, what I was doing, I realized that I was actually kind of creating a personal brand. That's really what I was doing. I was taking attributes that I felt strong in and kind of embodying them, and that's what you see now. And so we're gonna play a game. This is participation, you kind of have to be involved, it'll be kind of quick. But I'm gonna show you some images, and we're gonna talk about, first we're gonna identify who's the image, or what it is, and then you're gonna say just feeling words. Words, whatever comes that it invokes the feeling in you when you see that image. So we'll start with this one, who is it? It's written on there.
Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Okay, what are some feeling words you feel about it? What do you feel about it that you know?
Cancer.
Okay.
Children.
John Cena.
Yes.
This image. This one's kind of hard, but
BP.
okay. Feeling words. What do we feel about it? How do you feel about BP?
Distrust.
Okay.
So
I didn't hear you.
Oily.
Oh. Any other ones? How do you feel about it?
customers.
Customers?
Customers.
Crappy. Cheap.
Big.
Big. This one.
Fancy.
Okay. Anything else?
Fancy.
Fancy. Wait, we're gonna do this first.
Doctor.
Feeling. Doctor? Okay.
Doctor.
Dr. Google.
Helpful.
Helpful.
Tool.
I think fast. And this guy.
Source to Google.
He shall not be named.
Yeah.
So what just happened? If you look around you, there are brands all around you all day long. I know you know this. But what I think we don't realize is that you yourself are a brand. You are a brand. Once you become a doctor, yes, you're going to be an associate of Hilltop Animal Hospital, but it's going to have your name on it. You're going to be Dr. So-and-so at Hilltop Animal Hospital. And that's something that you really have to think about now. What brand are you going to be? Are you going to inspire people? I hope you're not going to anger people. Please don't. But if you look at a lot of these big companies, they have a purpose behind what message they send. Sometimes it is a little unintentional with BP or Walmart, but they spend a lot of time creating an image for themselves to portray that to you. It isn't by accident. It's very deliberate and planned. And I guess my question to you is, what do you stand for? You need to start thinking about that now if you haven't already.